David Axelrod, a big Democrat who's a former chief strategist to President Obama, said, "I have no doubt about its brilliance when it comes to book sales. Maybe he should have called it higher royalties." What do you say to people like him and people like me that think you're just doing this for money and attention? I like people that work in politics that don't want to do book deals. I read your book, and I think this hits a special place for me because my family has been the subject of a book like this, Game Change. And Game Change was written, ironically, people like Anna were asked, and thank you for not giving interviews to those guys, a lot of disgruntled staffers give, what traditionally in situations like this, it's the disgruntled staffers who aren't loyal to their principal that give interviews like this. So I'm curious, when you talk about staff, you didn't talk to his cabinet. Did you ever interview Jared and Ivanka? And how can I trust some of these quotes when, again, Tony Blair, Tom Barrack, Kate Walsh, Anna Wintour, all these people are denying these quotes. I'm not saying that they aren't idiots for honestly letting you around and giving you that kind of access, because quite frankly, had you invited me to your house at any point before this book, I would have said, hell no, of course not. I don't go to journalists' house and start dishing about anything private in the political circles I'm in. I'm just confused. Were you friends with Steve Bannon and Roger Ailes beforehand, and you were like, come to my house for an off-the-record dinner, and then you reported on it, or was it on the record?
Yes, no, fair question, and I'll tell you what happened. This was actually an off-the-record dinner, but two things happened.
That's why people hate journalists, by the way. It's why I don't believe in the concept of off-the-record, this right here.
Okay, so...
yes.
Mr. Cohen, you were a trusted advisor and close confidant of President Trump. And there's a really long habit on this show where people who have worked with the Trump administration closely all of a sudden switch gears after doing all his bidding and then atone for the sins of working for President Trump. You own up to being a liar, a cheater, and a thug for President Trump. You write, quote, "I took a weird kind of pleasure in harming others in the service of Donald Trump." I feel like I knew that about you before interviewing you, and now that you're switching sides and switching narratives and you're now telling me that Trump's a bad dude, why should I believe that? Because I don't easily swallow my initial instincts on people, and a liar is a liar is a liar, so why aren't you lying now?
Well, let me start first, Megan, by saying that, number one, I believe that your father was a tremendous hero to this country, and it's things like that, and I have some great photos.
He did that before President Trump was even a nominee. That doesn't get that far with me. With a lot of people that say things like that, with all due respect, he said that before he was the nominee. And again, I understand, but I knew who President Trump was from day one. It doesn't take your book to tell me differently.
And so your question is what, Megan?
My question is, what made you change your tune other than money? And why should I believe you because you're an admitted liar?
Well,
listen to me. Shut the fuck up.
Director Comey, you're not naive to the criticism you've gotten from Republicans and Democrats. And I think it's worth noting that David Axelrod, a big Democrat who's a former chief strategist to President Obama, said, "I have no doubt about its brilliance when it comes to book sales. Maybe he should have called it higher royalties." What do you say to people like him and people like me that think you're just doing this for money and attention?
Yeah, first thing I do is ask him to read the book. And I'm not saying he should agree with me, but if he reads the book, he will see I'm trying to make choices between bad options and doing it in a way that I think you would want someone as director of the FBI to do it. So even if you leave the book still thinking I'm an idiot, you realize I'm actually kind of an honest idiot, and I'm not on anybody's side.
I think anyone who got to your level is an idiot. I would never accuse anyone of that. I think that maybe J. Edgar Hoover is rolling over in his grave at saying the types of things you're saying and revealing the types of things you're revealing. It doesn't seem like something that the director of the FBI... Why are you laughing at me?
Because J. Edgar, really, he's the wrong guy to bring up.
I wonder what dress he's wearing.
But he didn't write a tell-all when he left.
Yeah.
So
did he say that he was a trans?
Can I finish my question?
Yeah.
I think the title of his book is stupid. I
What's
think
the
Lin-Manuel
title?
Miranda should get royalties. It's in the room where it happened.
What's the
It's
title?
The Room Where It
Hamilton
Happened.
line,
A reference to Hamilton.
which again I think Lin-Manuel Miranda should get money for him copying his title. Look, it seems very interesting that he's monetizing this so quickly that the moment it leaks, the webpage where you can buy his book goes up immediately, or on Amazon, his publishers put it up. I don't know what's happening here. I don't believe that someone like Ambassador Bolton, who's a political animal for many, many administrations, automatically wakes up and has a conscience. I've said that before on the show. I just don't believe it. Maybe I'm too.
Ms. Trumpets, Megan, look, I think I've made it clear to your publishers, I don't like books like this. I don't like family tell-all books, especially when it comes to families with fame and power, because they're told from the one side, and often the subjects are villainized to the point that I don't actually end up believing the stuff written. There have been books about my family which are complete and total garbage, told from a skewed perspective, and at the end of the day, you get a really good paycheck out of it, but I don't think it's that legitimate. What do you say to people like me who think this is just a great way for you to get a paycheck right now? Ms. Wolkoff, you recently revealed that you secretly recorded your conversations with Melania. I've said on multiple occasions, I said to Mary Trump, I don't like tell-all books like this. I think they're in really bad taste in general, and I think secretly recording your friend and selling its contents for profit certainly ups the ante and seems not only unethical, but just gross. The First Lady's office says you're, quote, just out for revenge, given all the damaging details you've chosen to share. Can you honestly just sit here and tell me that's not true? And just on a personal level, if someone did this to my mother, and she has an aide that she's incredibly close with who would never do anything like this and has been with her for over 20 years, it would break my family. Do you understand the implications of this that it could have on them just as people?
What is this bullshit? Who's this prick? Some loser gets his head blown off of the Metropolitan.
Shut the fuck up!
I mean, I'm telling you, this audio memoir is very eye-opening, to say the least.
I hope people like it. It's not meant to be like scorched earth. Maybe
No.
it comes off that way.
Megan reveals she hasn't spoken to Joy since that final show. There are other uncensored stories in her almost 6-hour audio memoir, Bad Republican.
It was never the hosts that were the issues. It was the backstage and the media.
I could deal with host drama all day long. To me, the thing that started having a real impact on my mental and emotional health was the constant, and it became constant, like absolute constant, like leaking from the show. The second week I was there was a bunch of articles on gossip sites talking about how nobody liked me on the show and I was a disappointment and I was an ice queen and you're a hated woman that everybody thinks is a lunatic. It would take a toll on you, I promise you.
Without a doubt.
I'm not gonna sit here and do it.
Hold on a second.
Girl, please stop talking. Please stop talking right now.
I won't talk the rest of the show. No problem.
Okay.
Your relationship with Whoopi, it seemingly started so good. She told your dad that she was basically going to have your back. What was the catalyst that sparked this negative dive in y'all's relationship?
I think again it was COVID and
Really?
being via satellite, but we had a really beautiful ending.
What did that ending look like?
We just had a lovely conversation when I left, and she sent me some really lovely text messages, and I really wish Whoopi all the best. I will always love her. I think she probably still has love for me someplace too. I wish the show and everyone truly all the best, and I hope they're not too mad, but I don't care if they are. I'm still good friends with Sunny. And I would, if I saw any of them, I would say hello and give them a hug, Joy included. And I wish them the
Really?
best. Yeah, I really am a forgiver.
Hey, you never know. You may.
Unhinged. During the call, he specifically says, I want this information. He is told that it is illegal for him to get this information. Then he asked that his lawyers be deputized so that they can get the information. This is someone that knows that what he is asking for is illegal, yet he continues to ask for it. I think that says that this is an intentional act, that it is a criminal intentional act to steal an election. It's a coup.
Well, I think that rhetoric's dangerous.
Well,
I think saying that we're going to have martial law and it's a coup. I mean, Biden, they're setting up, I'm here in D.C., they're setting up for the inauguration right now. Like, there's not going to be martial law, and things like that just scare people. And
That's a lie.
What did you say?
Joy, to your point, who are these people? Who are these people? Are 70 million Americans that voted for Trump. Biden won, but he didn't win by any kind of the landslide that I for one, thought he might have. And I
But
think
he
that,
won.
you know, but he did, and it's fair
But he
and
won
valid,
by
and
a
I don't
large
disagree.
margin.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying the rhetoric in the media needs to be more respectful of people, of Trump voters, and I think that's how we got to this place to begin with.
Let me tell you.
But the idea that it's like, you know, I agree. And the same way that I said to you, just because Hillary Clinton got technically more of the numeral votes, and then, sorry, I'm sloppy today, it's my first day back in 3 months, but less of the Electoral College, I've been saying that to you. I concede President Biden won, or President-elect Biden won in all these ways. But I'm just saying we are a completely fractured country, and to write off, I don't know who these people are that voted for Trump. It's 70 million Americans voted for President Trump.
And I say that a lot of them have been lied
Both demographics have to go both
That's
ways.
why they voted for him.
I think that's
So let's
inaccurate.
go
I think
to
that's
this
the
next-
perspective of Joy Behar, with all due respect. I mean, I'm ensconced by conservatives and Republicans, and that's just not accurate.
What did you say?
It's just not accurate.
Are you talking so fast? I heard my name, but I don't know what you said about me. What
I
did
said
you
that's
just
your
say?
perspective. It's the perspective of Joy Behar, and you know you're a proud progressive leftist, but I am a proud conservative, and I think the idea that the only reason why people voted for President Trump in the last election is because they were lied to, and they're morons who are just being fed information is not only disrespectful,
I
but
didn't
it's
say they were
wildly
morons.
inaccurate. To say that.
Shut up! Shut up! Okay,
Someone is
first of all,
fed,
listen,
none of-
Megan,
fed
the
bad
man-
information.
We'll be right
and
back.
too dumb
I'm
to
not
think for
playing with that.
themselves, so they
We'll be
voted
right
for
back.
Trump.
On January 6th, hundreds of Trump supporters stormed the Capitol complex. The insurrection was the worst breach of Capitol security since the War of 1812. The siege led to widespread vandalism. More than 50 police officers were injured and 5 people died.
Well, I think that rhetoric's dangerous.
Well,
I think
yeah.
saying that we're going to have martial law and it's a coup. I mean, Biden, they're setting up, I'm here in D.C., they're setting up for the inauguration right now. Like, there's not going to be martial law, and things like that just scare people. Footage. These bastards are using the American flag as symbols as they are attacking our own republic. The same flag that our veterans at Iwo Jima held after World War II. You are not patriots. You do not represent America. You are scum. Ivanka Trump called these people patriots. I am a patriot. I come from a patriotic family. I come from a family of service, as does everyone on this show. You are hurting our country. You are becoming a national embarrassment, and we have to get him out immediately. Problems. It's like the 70s all over again. So I think there's a strategy going on that the media doesn't want to focus on anything bad happening in the Biden administration. And I implore everyone who works in this industry, just because Trump was so bad doesn't mean this is good. There are real meat and potatoes issues impacting average Americans who are also frightened. And I think we should be focusing on that versus relitigating something that happened 4 months ago.
Do you ever hear yourself and think that it sounds ridiculous?
No, I know myself very well. I've been in me a long time. I know my reputation. I know my level of integrity.
Sonny, what's your opinion of all of this?
I think it's really important not to forget what happened just 4 months ago. I think the attack on our democracy continues each and every day by the Republican Party, and that is something that we cannot forget. January 6, 2021 should go down in history as the day that our democracy was attacked by insurrectionists started by a disgraced, former, twice impeached president.
Megan, you got the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say other than thank you all so much again for the privilege and honor it has been for the past 4 years to work on this show. It really has been incredible. It will be on, it'll be referenced in everything I do for the rest of my life. You women have been so incredible to work with, the crew, the producers, everyone works so hard, and honestly, the audience, giving me, 4 years to give my opinion and, show my perspective. And
do you expect to hear from Joy or Whoopi after the book?
I think the stuff with Whoopi has been really blown up. I have
because you
nothing but
also say a
respect.
lot of kind things about Whoopi in the book.
I adore Whoopi and I love her. I think things went off the rails, and I was trying to give context to my experience leaving. And I adore Whoopi. She's an American icon. I have more love for her than anything else. I just wanted to explain myself and the things that happen.
When you come to the table with something like this, it's like, child, please.
Right. I have to say this. Yeah. It is really nice coming into work with y'all.
Thank you.
It is. I realized it as I was standing and watching there, looking at everybody, that it's like, I don't know, based on what people read. It's very different here. It's very different here because it's just, it's good. I just wanted to say, I wanted to say it out loud so people heard it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got a lot of questions saying if it was so toxic at The View, why does your mom come on and co-host, and why do you want SE to maybe be the next co-host?
Because it's a great platform and I'm not a hater.
And also, do you take any responsibility at all for the toxicity on The View? We got that a lot.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. And I think only one person was bullied out of their job and doesn't work there anymore. And I think that
You
really
think you were
says it
bullied
all.
out of your job?
Yeah.
Traditionally, in situations like this, it's the disgruntled staffers who aren't loyal to their principal that give interviews like this.
What do you say to people like him and people like me that think you're just doing this for money and attention? Told from a skewed perspective, and at the end of the day, you get a really good paycheck out of it, but I don't think it's that legitimate. Not only unethical, but just gross. The First Lady's office says you're, quote, just out for revenge. But he didn't write a tell-all when he left.
Yeah. So, I'm telling you, this audio memoir is very eye-opening, to say the least.
I hope people like it. Publish a dishonest book is a sad attempt to advance your own name. Simply put, it is an exercise in narcissism and self-pity. Not meant to be like scorched earth. Maybe it comes off that way.
It's a coup.
Well, I think that rhetoric's dangerous.
Well,
I think saying that we're going to have martial law and it's a coup, there's not going to be martial law, and things like that just scare people. These bastards are using the American flag. Ivanka Trump called these people patriots. I am a patriot. And I think we should be focusing on that versus relitigating something that happened 4 months ago.
Sonny.
It's been a really incredible, liberating experience, and I will always cherish the time I spent with all of you. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart.
So do you take any responsibility at all for the toxicity on The View? We got that a lot.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, and I think only one person was bullied out of their job and doesn't work there anymore.
He was a trans.
Can I finish my question?
Yeah.
When a liar is a liar is a liar, so why aren't you lying now? I would, if I saw any of them, I would say hello and give them a hug, Joy included, and I wish them the best. Yeah, I really am a forgiver.